There's a home style blowing up right now that real estate agents are calling the smartest build of 2026. And most people still think it's just a metal shed with a couch inside. It's not. It's called a Barndominium. And when you mix industrial steel with farmhouse warmth, you get a home that looks like it belongs on a magazine cover and costs less than you think to build. Today I'm breaking down exactly how to nail this industrial meets farmhouse look, room by room. So stick around because the mistake most people make is in section 4. And it's the one that makes a Barndo look cheap instead of custom. Before we get into it, hit subscribe and turn on notifications, because every week I'm breaking down the biggest trends in home design before they hit the mainstream. You do not want to miss what's coming in this series. What makes a Barndominium different? Let's start with why this style even works. A Barndominium is a home built using steel or metal framing, the same construction used for barns and warehouses, which means the interior has almost no load-bearing walls. That's huge for design because it gives you wide, open, flexible spaces that traditional stick-built homes just can't offer as easily or as cheaply. In 2026, builders and designers are describing the look as refined rustic, which is really just a fancy way of saying you get the raw honesty of exposed metal and steel, paired with the warmth of natural wood, soft textiles, and vintage-inspired details. The two styles sound like they'd clash, but that contrast is exactly why it works. Industrial keeps the space grounded and modern. Farmhouse keeps it feeling lived in and human. Get that balance right and you have one of the most photogenic home styles out there right now. The foundation, floors and ceilings. Every great Barndo starts with what's above your head and under your feet. For flooring, sealed and stained concrete is the move for 2026. It's durable, low maintenance, and gives you that clean industrial base layer. But concrete alone can feel cold, so this is where farmhouse comes in. Layer in oversized area rugs in warm, neutral tones. Jute or wool textures work especially well, to soften the space and define your living zones without needing walls. For ceilings, this is where the drama happens. Because steel framing allows for clear span construction, vaulted ceilings and exposed beams are everywhere in the best 2026 builds. Pair raw structural steel beams with tongue and groove wood ceilings or shiplap, and you get this incredible contrast of rough and refined happening right above your head. Tall windows tucked into that vaulted space bring in natural light and make the whole room feel twice as big. The kitchen, where industrial meets farmhouse best. If there's one room where this style truly shines, it's the kitchen. The centerpiece right now is the oversized island, and I mean oversized 10 to 14 feet long in a lot of these builds. Top it with waterfall quartz, that's the polished industrial touch, and hang bold statement pendant lighting above it for the farmhouse charm. Think black metal cage lights or warm brass fixtures with visible bulbs. For cabinetry, homeowners are mixing matte black or dark metal lower cabinets with warm wood or shaker-style upper cabinets. So you get that steel and timber conversation happening throughout the whole kitchen. Open shelving is still huge too. Reclaimed wood shelves against exposed brick or shiplap backsplash, styled with simple stoneware and a few plants. It photographs beautifully and it's genuinely functional. The mistake that makes a Barndo look cheap. Okay, here's that mistake I mentioned in the hook. And this is the one that separates a stunning Barndo from one that looks like an unfinished garage. Do not leave the metal exterior wall as the interior wall in your main living spaces. I get it, exposed metal paneling feels on brand for the industrial side of this style. But when you use it everywhere with no wood, no texture, and no warmth to balance it, the whole home reads cold and impersonal instead of intentional. The homes that actually nail this look use metal as an accent, maybe one feature wall, or trim around windows and stair rails, and then let wood, textiles, and warm lighting do the heavy lifting everywhere else. Balance is the entire game here. If your space feels more warehouse than home, you've leaned too industrial and forgotten the farmhouse half of the equation. Living room and loft spaces. Because of that open floor plan flexibility we talked about earlier, a lot of 2026 Barndo living rooms are blending straight into the kitchen and even into loft office space above. This multifunctional zoning is one of the biggest shifts this year. Homes that adapt to how you actually live instead of boxing you into separate formal rooms. For furniture, oversized, low-profile sectionals in neutral linen or boucle fabric work well against that industrial backdrop. Add a reclaimed wood coffee table, a vintage-inspired leather armchair, and layered textiles like chunky knit throws to keep things cozy. Lofts overlooking the main living space are also trending hard this year, and they're a great spot for a home office or reading nook, especially with those tall vaulted windows pulling in natural light. Bedrooms and bathrooms. In the bedrooms, dial the industrial back and let farmhouse take the lead. This is where you want the home to feel soft and restful. Think shiplap accent walls, warm wood bed frames, and linen bedding in muted, earthy tones. A black metal light fixture or an exposed beam ceiling is enough of an industrial nod without overdoing it. Bathrooms are where a lot of 2026 Barndos are getting genuinely luxurious. Matte black fixtures against white subway tile or lime wash walls is still the signature combo, but freestanding tubs, brass hardware, and walk-in showers with frameless glass are elevating these spaces well past the old budget home reputation Barndominiums used to have. The outdoor connection. Here's a trend that's honestly taken over Barndo design this year. The line between indoors and outdoors is basically disappearing. Covered patios and outdoor kitchens are getting the same design attention as the interior now. Builders are extending that metal roofline out over 12 feet or more to create deep, shaded outdoor living areas, and using the same flooring inside and out so the transition feels seamless through massive sliding glass doors. Some builds are even running radiant heating into the outdoor concrete to warm bare feet on cool nights. And outdoor fireplaces have basically become standard rather than a luxury add-on. A lot of owners are telling builders their covered patio actually gets used more than their formal living room, which tells you everything about where this style is headed. Technology and smart features. One thing people don't talk about enough is that metal buildings can mess with wireless signal. It's just physics, steel blocks it. So 2026 Barndo builds are addressing this head-on with signal-boosting repeaters and exterior antennas built right into the design plan from day one. Smart systems are being woven into the build itself instead of bolted on afterward, so you get a home that looks rustic but functions like it's fully modern under the hood. Budget reality check. Now let's talk honestly for a second because I don't want to oversell this. Barndominiums are no longer the cheap, budget-friendly builds they used to be known for. In 2026, expect to invest in higher-end finishes if you want that refined rustic look done right. Waterfall quartz, designer lighting, and smart systems all add real cost. The upside is that clean shell designs, keeping your exterior a simple rectangle with fewer complex rooflines, are trending specifically because they let you put more of your budget toward the interior finishes that actually make this style pop. So if you're planning a build, that's the smartest place to save so you can spend where it counts. The industrial-meets-farmhouse Barndominium look works because it doesn't try to hide what the home actually is, a steel structure. It just dresses that structure up with warmth, texture, and intention. Get the balance right between raw and refined, and you end up with a home that feels both authentic and genuinely upscale. If this breakdown helped you picture your own space differently, let me know in the comments which room you tackle first, and subscribe for more design breakdowns like this one every week.